Lunch, last weekend of the season coming up. They don't come much bigger than a playoff weekend, do they?
No, they don't. We've waited a while for this. It's been a long season. It's been a long slog, and now, here we are, ready to face the last weekend, the biggest one of the year. Yeah.
So you said a few weeks back before we started the playoffs, obviously you wanted to claim first spot. We've done that. Looking back in the 4 games, how would you sum them up?
I think the worst thing we did actually was have a great result against Fife in the first game. I think, in all honesty, I think after we won that first game 5-0, we probably knew we were going to win the group one way or another, barring a major slip-up. I think it probably made us take our foot off the gas a little bit. I don't think the 2 games against North Ayr were fantastic. I think the game in Kirkcaldy, we had fits and spells we were very good and spells when we weren't. But like I say, we kind of knew after the first win at 5-0 that the odds were in our favour that we were going to win the group. But you know what? We did. That was what we set out to do. We done that. It would have been nice to win all 4 games, but Kirkcaldy aren't a bad team, so we've won the group. We go through to the semi-final as group winners, and we go to play the second place team in the other group, which is what we wanted to do before the playoff started. So job done.
And that game last Saturday against North Ayr, it was obviously our final home game of the season, and it was brilliant again. It was an entertaining game, but as well, it was a great crowd, and the fan base, it keeps building and building, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think probably since about Christmas onwards, I don't think we've seen less than 1,500 people in this building, or certainly near enough to it. It's great to see. When you think back, the Hogmanay game at 2,500, and the game against Aberdeen was just shy of 2,000, and then keeping an average of probably around, like I say, the 1,500 mark. It's more than anybody thought we would ever get, and it's credit to all the people that work behind the scenes, yourself included, on social media and things like that we're getting these crowds, and hopefully when we get in the next season, these crowds will go up again and again and again, and it's great to see. It's great to see this building busy, because everybody knows for years that there was 300, 400, 500 people watching games of hockey in this rink. It really is good to see.
So looking ahead to the weekend, we face Aberdeen Lynx in the semi-final on Saturday night. We've had some great games this season, previous years as well against them. What are you expecting for that fixture?
Same again, to be honest. I think all 4 games against Aberdeen have been really close. I think we've taken 7 out of 8 points against them this year, but certainly we've not had it all our own way. We've had to come from behind once or twice, and the 2 games up there were absolute battles as well, and I don't expect anything different. They're a good team, well-organised team. I know their coaches both pretty well. It's got the makings of a great semi-final against 2 teams that have created a pretty good rivalry over the last 3 years, and it's going to be another battle.
So it's actually the way it's worked. The top 4 teams have made this playoff weekend that we finish in the league standings. Going to be 2 very entertaining semi-finals. Last year, we got the job done. We picked up that trophy. I'm sure you and the boys will be desperate to bring it back to Murrayfield.
That's the goal. That's the goal. You don't enter competitions to come second, and come runners-up or anything like that. We know we've got a very hard game on Saturday night, and we know whoever we face on Sunday, should we be victorious on Saturday night, it's going to be another really tough game. We're going to need to be at our absolute best if we're going to lift that trophy at the end. But like I say, that's what we've set out to do. That's what the goal is. So we'll be doing everything we can to achieve that at the weekend.
And touching on that, as a team, what is it we need to do to be successful this weekend?
We need to play a solid 60 minutes. We can't afford to take any time off in games, which we're prone to do from time to time. We need to do the simple stuff. We need to avoid trying to take any shortcuts. We need to avoid trying to find any cheat codes throughout the game that's going to make it easier, because this isn't going to be easy at all. We just need to knuckle down. We need to think defensively first. We're a good enough team that will always create chances, but we need to take care of our own end. And if we do that, if we play the game at high intensity and outwork our opponents and win the majority of our battles, then we should be fine. If we don't, we'll find that we'll be in trouble. But we're at the stage of the season now where the guys know what's expected. They know how we need to play. They know the level that we're going to need to play at. And there certainly won't be anything left at the end of each game.
So just touching back Saturday night after the game, we said a farewell to two of the off-ice staff who have been here for many years. Jim and Chips, the DJ, the announcer. And I'm sure you'll agree, obviously, you're standing on the bench, but you obviously are focused on the game at times. But, these guys are, getting the crowd going and getting the place, a buzz about the place as much as the boys are on the ice. But it was, it's sad to see them go, but it was a nice touch to, be able to say cheerio to them, wasn't it?
Definitely sad to see them go. Like you say, they've been here for a long, long time. I couldn't tell you exactly how many years, but I know it's been a long, long time. Whoever replaces them's got a hard act to follow, that's for sure. And yeah, they were great entertainment value, game in, game out. A couple of nice guys too. When we moved up to that dressing room up at the top of the rink there last season, you got the opportunity to speak to them a little bit more with them being so close to us and things like that. Yeah, a couple of stand-up guys that will be missed, and yeah, great servants to the club.
And people like that, there's various people around involved in the club, give up their free time, but they're massive, aren't they, for the success. You mentioned it earlier as well. Like we need these people to keep building this club, don't we?
Every club's the same, it needs volunteers, it needs people that are going to put some hard work into, to ensure that it's successful or run properly. And yeah, these people are invaluable, from the merchandise people, the 50-50 sellers, to the people that help move the nets between periods and things like that. The games can't go ahead without these people, and it's a great sort of group that we've got here, involved with Edinburgh Capitals all round. And it's sad when a couple of people go, but but in Jim and Chips' case, nothing lasts forever. They've done it a long, long time, so I think they're entitled to enjoy their retirement.
So for the last time this season, Lynch, what's your final message to the Caps fans going into this weekend?
We're going to give it everything we've got this weekend, and we'd like to see as many Edinburgh Capitals fans up in Dundee, firstly on the Saturday and then hopefully on the Sunday too. Their support has been absolutely invaluable all season long. Nothing but positivity from our fans. Great bunch of fans that, as you said at the beginning of this interview, are growing in numbers week after week. We'd love to see a similar number of fans that turned up at Dundee last year for the Scottish Cup final. We'd like to see a better result. But we'd love to see as many of them there as we can. And hopefully everybody can enjoy the last weekend of the season before everybody goes away and does their own thing for 3 or 4 months.
Well, for the last time as well, Lynchy, good luck for this weekend, and let's hope we can bring that trophy back.
Are you trying to make me cry here? Okay,
get
cheers,
emotional. Chad, this is it. Final weekend of the season. We head up to Dundee. We won this trophy last year. I'm sure you and the boys must be desperate to bring it back to Murrayfield.
Yeah, part and parcel of winning trophies is obviously trying to keep them the next year. The playoffs is what everyone strives to win. So yeah, we'll hopefully keep it in Edinburgh in this weekend.
So that feeling last year, it was special. Obviously, you guys on the ice, the fans, they loved it. Picking up that trophy, the club as a whole, it was just a special weekend. What does it take to win a playoff weekend?
It takes hard work. It's obviously it's 2 games. Anything can happen in 2 games. Anyone can beat anyone. So you've got to be switched on for 60 minutes in the semi, and obviously in the final you can't have a period off, which sometimes we're prone to do. And it takes that effort and that determination to win. Really, that's what it comes down to.
So we match up against Aberdeen in our semi-final, a team that we know very well, even for not just this season, the last couple of years. It's kind of between us and them the last 2 years for the league title, and then obviously this year we've played them I think 4 times. I think we've beat them 3. I think we've beat with them once in overtime as well. But what are you expecting for that game?
Aberdeen are a really good team. We've had a rivalry with them since we came into the league. It'll be a hard game, physical game. There's a lot of skillful players on both teams, so I think it'll be a really good game overall.
And I think, me personally, one of my favourite games this season was the game against Aberdeen in between Christmas and New Year. We beat them, I think, 6-5. You scored, I think, with 18 seconds left. It seems to be something about these Aberdeen games, for that, as you're saying, the previous years as well, that both teams seem to raise their game.
Yeah, I think the rivalry kind of plays into that. I think both teams want to win so badly that we up our game. There's a bit of bad blood between guys, so you want to win and get it especially when it comes to a playoff setting, I think it'll be a really good game.
So this season as a whole, probably it's not went as well as we would hope. We hope to have won that league title, but from a player point of view, how would you sum up this season?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we wanted to win the league again this year, and we just fell short again. We had success with the North Cup, but I think ultimately it comes down to playoffs. I think we need to win the playoffs to salvage anything from this year. I think last season wasn't a great season, but winning the playoffs really, made it feel like something special. I think if we can get that this weekend again, it'll be similar.
So one thing, it's been improving time and time again. I said that to Lynch in an interview with him earlier on, is, that great Caps fan base. I know how much you love playing in front of them. I know how much the guys love playing in front of them. But they've got a massive role to play this weekend as well, haven't they, up in Dundee?
Yeah, the fans make a big difference. When you're down, they get behind you and, kind of lift your spirits, lift your energy to get back in it. When you're up, you feel like you can't lose the game when you've got them all singing and chanting. So, yeah, it's a huge advantage to have such a big and, loud fan base.
And obviously we'll be hoping that, a good majority of them come up to Dundee this weekend.
Definitely.
So the Rockets, they've been the team to beat this season. We go into this weekend, they go into this weekend probably as favourites, but it's 4 teams that, they think they finished the top 4 in the league. They can all beat each other.
Yeah, I think, like you said, that all 4 teams can win. I think the Rockets had a really good league campaign, but, they're not unbeatable. I think we showed that this season. And in a playoff setting where it's only 2 games in the semis and 1 game final, I think anything can happen. Anyone can beat anyone, so it's kind of flip of the coin this weekend.
And just up in that locker room, how's the mood going into this weekend?
It's good. It's guys are excited, nervous and excited. For some guys, it's their first time in the playoffs. A lot of young guys, some guys have been here for a long time. They know what to expect. So, we're going to have a good week of training and then go into Saturday with spirits high.
And just finally, Chad, do you have a message for the Caps fans for the sport this season?
Yeah, just, we are thankful for everything you've done this season, and we hopefully look forward to seeing you guys at the weekend.
Well, Chad, for the final time this season, all the best for Saturday, first of all, and hopefully we can get a result on Saturday night and be in that final on Sunday and pick up the trophy.
Jersey stay.